Dale's Movie Reviews. Hey y'all, it's me, it's Dale. My name is Dale, if you don't remember from last time. This is my second movie review, and I'm real excited to bring it to you. I wanted to start out by saying that I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't get no emails from nobody for movie suggestions or anything, so I was real sad about that for a few days. And I talked to my dad, and he said, "You know what? I just bet nobody even knows that they're supposed to send you an email yet, because it's the very first one. They probably don't even know." He said, "But I'm real proud of you, so I want to get discouraged, and so I'm not, and I'm going to take his advice, and I'm going to remind you first right now that it's Dale Lee Wayne at yahoo.com, so you can just send me an email right there, and then I'm going to remind you again later. So I got it. I think I got it under control. But anyway, my dad was real helpful with that, so I wanted to, in his honor, review a movie that he had and he likes a lot, and it tickled me so because it's based on one of my favorite TV shows, The Muppet Babies. It's called The Muppets Take Manhattan. I got the box this time, y'all. I didn't have a box for the last one. I got the box this time. It's The Muppets Take Manhattan. It's Jim Henson Presents, so it's good. And it's real good, y'all. It's the Muppet Babies, but they're all adults. They're all grown-ups. And it's real fun. And I think a lot of Muppet Babies fans probably like it a lot because I didn't know that they'd made any movies about that TV show. So I was excited to see it. It stars, let's see, it's just got all the Muppets in it, basically. It's real good. It's real good. Basically what happens, the very first part, you're flying over America, and I liked that part a lot at the very first part because you know how much I like flying from last time. So you're flying all over America, and all over cities and countries and everything, and then you go and you're at this college, and it turns out that it's the Muppet Babies College, and the Muppet Babies are graduating from college, and that's exciting. I was proud of them. So then they're finishing college. It's all the Muppet Babies too. They got Kermit the Frog and Piggy and Gonzo and Animal, and then all the animal ones like Fozzie Bear and Ralph and all that, like that band and everything. It's all of them. They got all the ones. So they're doing a play, and it's real good. And you can tell everybody likes it a lot. And they finish their song, and everybody's like, "Boy, I hate the fact that we finished college now, and now we can't be friends anymore." And then the one that's supposed to be a human, Scooter, he says, "Hey, what if we go to New York and we do this play there?" And I bet they want to have a good play. They like good plays in New York, and so they all go, and they all go to New York City when they call it Manhattan, and I thought that was fun. But Kermit's still their leader, so that's real important for you to find out right away. And they're always like, "Hey Kermit, how are we gonna get our dinner tonight?" Or, "Hey Kermit, where's the hotel?" Or they don't stay in a hotel. They stay in some lockers at like a train station. And I thought that was funny. But still, they need Kermit. Kermit's the one that he's got to carry all the keys and all the he's the most responsible one. Is the point that I'm trying to make. So anyway, They go to this man to try to get him to put on their play, and he says he'll do it. But then he says that he needs money. He needs $300 from all of them. And then all the Muppet Babies are like, "I don't think so. What?" And then the police come, and then he runs off with some of the Muppet Babies, and then there's a chase scene. So they get real discouraged because it's the very first one they go to, and he's trying to pull a scam on them, basically. So. But they decide that they're gonna keep going. But then this part, what I was telling you, they all the other Muppet Babies are like, "Kermit, where are we gonna eat for lunch? Kermit, there's a problem. I need you to help me with it." And Kermit he's had it. He can't take it anymore, and he snaps right before they go into this restaurant. And then he's mad, and they know that he's fallen under the pressure. So they're like, "Man, we can't be putting this pressure on Kermit. He's our very best friend, you know." So, then they decide at that restaurant that they're all gonna go get jobs. and they're not going to tell them. They're going to tell them that they already got jobs, and they're just going to go and they're going to go fend for themselves. Um, but then, when Kermit, he decides he doesn't want to do that. He wants to stay and try to. He believes in that play that they're doing, and he wants to try to get somebody to put it on. And Miss Piggy, she decides that she wants to. She gonna follow Kermit around, and she want to make sure he doesn't like he don't do no shenanigans and fooling around or anything. So I mean that's kind of all the main parts that you need to know. But it's real good. I mean, Kermit gets a job at this restaurant, and he kind of does. He falls in love a little bit with this waitress who works there because she's just so nice, and Kermit's so nice, and they're just so nice to each other. And Miss Piggy gets real jealous, and she's spying around on him the whole time and following him around, and she's always got binoculars and everything, and she's spying on him. But then eventually Kermit does he does get somebody to put on his play. And then what happens right afterwards, he finds out the good news, and then he gets hit by a car or something, and then he gets amnesia. So then he can't remember that he's Kermit the Frog. He thinks he knows he's a frog because he's a frog, obviously. But he thinks that he don't know who he is. So he goes and he's trying to get this job, and then he meets all these other frogs, and he's real helpful for them, and they like him a lot. So they decide to give him a job, and that was one thing that I liked, because even though he didn't know who he was, it was still, you could tell that Kermit was still there. He was still Kermit because he was still real helpful and nice to everybody, and they got him a job. So he gets this job, and meantime all the other Muppet Babies, they're saying, we got to do this play in 2 weeks, and we don't even know where Kermit is. And all of us are coming from all over our other jobs all over the country, and we got to get back. And then we don't even know where Kermit is, and he's the one who's our leader. So they're real worried, and Kermit don't know what he's doing because he's working at this job where he thinks he's someone. His name is Phil, and it's just, you're like, boy, they can't catch a break, But it's good. Eventually, they get Kermit back because he goes out to eat at that restaurant that they all have been going to, and then they find him and they say, "Hey, that's Kermit. We know it is. He don't know that it is, but we just got to take him. We got to take him because it's the day of the show at that point. They got like 2 hours or something, and it's like right before time to go on." And then Miss Piggy gets real mad, and she hits him in the head, and then he comes back, he gets his memory back, and he remembers that he remembers everything, and then they do their play for everyone. And then the very best part is they have a big wedding at the end of the movie, and it was so good. But I'll talk more about that later. I want to talk about some of the, like I did last time, I'm going to talk about some of the different parts of the movie. So this time I want to start out with, it's called the visual effects. And they were okay. At first I thought, wow, because I knew the Muppet Babies was a cartoon, so I thought that this was a cartoon, and I said, wow, this is... but then it ain't. It's real people. So they were okay. I knew that it was puppets. I knew that, especially like if Scooter was, because Scooter's supposed to be a human being, I think, and then like if he was standing next to a real person, you could just tell. Like, you could tell right away. And same thing. Like they didn't have any frogs, but I bet if they did, you'd be like, oh, Kermit just don't look real. So that was one thing, and like. There are parts where you could tell they were just carrying puppets around, and it looked kind of homemade, I think, in some parts. But that was all right, It didn't take me out of the story necessarily. I could tell they was puppets though. The visual effects they was okay. I talked to my dad, and he said it was a real old movie. I didn't know, but he said that they probably didn't have the technology to do some things like in that new Star Trek movie and stuff, but. It was all right. The music is the next part I want to talk about, and that was one of my favorite parts. It was so good that this all singing, y'all. I didn't even tell you there's so much songs. They're doing singing in just about every part. It's great. It's really great. It's really great. They got so many different kinds of songs. There's a one part where they go back and they see themselves, and that's when they are the Muppet Babies again, and that part's really good. The song that they sing at the wedding, Kermit and Miss Piggy, they have a wedding, y'all. They get married. And they sing this song, and it's so pretty. I heard one time, my crossing guard in school, he said that his heart soared when he heard a song one time, and I never knew what that meant until other day when I watched this movie, because my heart soared, y'all. I mean, this song is so pretty. It's so good. And it's the Muppet Babies singing too. So, it's really good. It's real good. Yeah, it's got a lot of real pretty, good songs. You tapping your toes a lot of times. So, I want to talk about the individual performances now. I thought they were all real good. I thought Miss Kermit did a real good job. He's the one who's the leader, and he has the most hard parts to do and everything. So he did a real good job, and Miss Piggy did a real good job. Ralph, I like Ralph a lot. Ralph has a song that he sings all by himself, and then he has to play the piano on all the other songs because he's their piano player. So he did a real good job. I thought he had a lot of work to work on, and he did. You could tell he did all his work real good. I like Ralph a lot. I think he might have been my favoriteest one, or they say he was my I think he was my favorite one. There's this man who works in their restaurant. His name is Pete, and I could not understand a word he said, and I think that was probably just maybe a mistake by the actor's part, but that was it. I mean, that was just one thing. He did all right, I guess. I couldn't understand most of him, so. All right, it's my favorite part. Time for my favorite parts, y'all. Like I did last time. Singing. There's so much singing. They sing almost every time, and it's so good. All the songs are different, but they're so good. I loved all of the songs. Oh man, there's this one part where Miss Piggy, she gets her purse snatched by this purse snatcher, and then she goes after him, and then she finds Gregory Hines from Ketchup, and she gets his roller skates, and she goes after the purse snatcher, and it's real good. That part's real fun. I like that a lot. There's this part where the Muppet Babies, I told you about it. It's the Muppet Babies, and they go back, and you see all of them, and they got it all down to the detail, the very last detail, like the wallpaper that they had on Muppet Babies, and how they had that big circle window. They got that in there. It's so good. They got it down, y'all. It was so good. I love that part. That was probably my favorite part. Oh man, they have so many cameos too. My dad said it's called a cameo when you're like, who's that one, Dad? Who's that one good actor? He was just in it for that one little part. He said it's called a cameo, but it was I said they had Gregory Hines from Ketchup, and they had Joan Rivers. She was on that show where they made fun people, and they had Brooke Shields, and they had Liza Minnelli from Entertainment Tonight, and so it was good. They had a lot of different people, and I found myself being like, "Hey, Dad, what about? Isn't that one?" And he'd be like, "No, that ain't. That's just some random person." But sometimes I thought, "Hey, that looks like Britney Spears," and he would say, "No, she was a baby when this." Hey, you find that you're looking for them once you know they're there. The cameos. But it was good. I like that part a lot. There's this one good part where Kermit he gets this job, and they're trying to sell this soap called Ocean Breeze soap, and they're trying to come up with the slogan for it, and the ones there the other frogs they said what about Ocean Breeze soap for people who don't want to stink, and I thought that was real funny. But Kermit he came up with a better one for him. I'm almost done. The wedding part is so good too. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's so good. Big Bird is there, and some of the other ones from Sesame Street, and it's really good, y'all. That song too. That song part is so good. There are a couple things I thought were a little bit I didn't like. I thought that Miss Piggy didn't trust Kermit very much, and she kind of stalked him, and that made me feel uncomfortable a little bit. I didn't know. I want to know what happened to Nanny from the TV show, because all the Muppet Babies were there, but they didn't say what happened with Nanny, and I'm assuming that she had died, which because time had progressed. But still, I would have liked for there to be a scene where they gone to her grave, or where they were like, "Boy, I wish Nanny was here. She always She always wore those striped socks or something. You know, something like that. I couldn't understand Pete. Couldn't understand him at all, hardly. And then the only other thing was that at the very end, when Kermit still has amnesia, it was just down to the wire, and I was getting nervous. I was like, they're not gonna get him back in time, but they did. So it's real. It's a real good movie, y'all. Again, it's the Muppet Babies. It's Muppet Babies Take Manhattan. You see, it's got all of them in there. If you want me to watch, if there's a different movie that you want me to watch, oh no, where did it go? Oh no, y'all, I can't find my paper, but it's Dale Lee Wayne at yahoo.com. Remember, I showed it to you at the beginning of the movie, so just go back and see that if you need to send me an email, y'all. All right. I hope you have a real good week.